Hey, it's Kendrick with Technology Interpreters, and today I want to help you to learn some regex using the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber 2022, day 17. This is a really cool exercise, and so let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to log into the interface and you need to launch your box, okay? And so once again, you can go to this free, just go to tryhackme.com, log into your dashboard, and then Advent of Cyber will be one of the things listed on the site, and it's completely free. This is thousands of dollars of cybersecurity training that they're giving for free. So go ahead and launch your terminal. And one of the things you always want to do is don't hesitate. I'm going to go ahead and click view, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'll zoom in again. All right, so that should be a little nicer. And so in this exercise, we're basically going to be taking these files, and I'll show you the files. So first of all, we want to figure out where we are on the server. And we'll do that by typing pwd. And let's go ahead and get rid of my camera so that we can actually see the entire screen. That stands for print working directory, and this shows us that we're in the home Ubuntu folder. The files that we're looking for are on our desktop. So I'm going to type, and I'm just going to do it my way. So the exercise tells you a way that you can get directly to it. But I know that the desktop, easiest thing to do is I'll type ls, and there are all the folders that are there. So I'm going to go cd desktop, type ls, not lsd, but ls. All right, so we got two folders right there, and that's what we're looking for, the regex practice folder. Okay, and so let's go ahead and extend this machine. I've actually been working on it a little while. Okay, all right, so that being the case, we're now in the folder. Let's type ls. And so there are two files. Now you can run this regex checker. So a quick way to run this, I'll do a quick registry command. So you want to do python 3 regex checker.py. You press enter, and it asks you for the regex, and it's going to run it against the string that's in the folder right here. So it's already configured to do that. So if I just say basically A to Z, which looks for lowercase a to Z, the range for one character that's in the range of lowercase a to Z, press enter, it's going to go back and it returns the data. Not bad at all, but I actually like the egrep function, which is egrep, and then you put your string here. So I'm going to do the same thing, colon A to Z, close that, colon again, and then the file that you're targeting, which is strings, which is in that folder, remember, and press enter, and so it gives you here, and it just highlights it. I like the egrep better, so that's what I'm going to use in this exercise. So our first mission is we need to find alphanumeric characters, a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 12. So filtering for usernames that are alphanumeric, which means letters and numbers, minimum of 6 of them, and a maximum of 12 consisting of upper and lowercase. So let me show you what that looks like in regex. So we're going to type our egrep command, bring this up. So we already have part of A to Z. That's lowercase A to Z, just one character lowercase A to Z. We're going to say A to Z. That's one uppercase character, A to Z, and we're going to say 0 through 9. So that's a number 0 through 9. So this one character can be any of those, okay, which is good. But we need to say, we don't just want 1, we want 6, a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 12, and use your brackets to do this. Open brackets, minimum of 6, comma, 12, which is your max. Let's press enter. And we get a lot of data. Why do we get so much data? This doesn't look like what we're looking for. Well, it's because we need to use 2 other characters. Let's add these. And so let's take the same command and let's use what's called the caret, and it's basically shift 6. Okay, so that signifies the beginning of the string is there, and then we use the $sign to indicate that's the end of the string. And we press enter and look at our data set. And that's the first answer, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is going to be your first answer for usernames that fit the syntax above. And then it asks, filtering for username, one consists of a readable word concatenated with a number. What is it? User 35. It's right here. User is a readable character word, and 35 is a number. Concatenated means to put together. And that makes user 35. That's your second answer. So now it's going to take us on. It wants us to filter email addresses. Like, ooh, this gets a little bit more complicated. So we want to know how many emails fit the syntax above. Well, let's look at the syntax above. It says filter for emails, follow the local part at domain. So local part something at domain, It says don't put the quotations because that's just to show you what they want inside this paragraph they're talking about. It's not part of the actual code. And then it says local part is a random string. That means a dot. Dot represents a random string or anything. So, and the domain is in the form of domain name dot com. TLD means top level domain. And so that's .com, .net, .whatever. And so all of the top domain level domains are .com. So it just says, okay, there are other ones in there, but we only want you to filter out for the email addresses that end in something.com. It's like, cool. Let's bring up our egrep command again. So we can easily represent this. So remember, we don't necessarily need to be, okay. Now I extended the machine multiple times. Not sure why we're getting this, but whatever, we'll see. Hopefully this is an old machine I was working on. I've done a lot in these environments today. So we'll go ahead and we'll take this, we'll close this, and we'll say beginning of the sentence, which is a caret. We'll hold off on the end of the sentence. So that means the start of the string that we're looking for is going to be a dot. And so that represents any random character or string. And so this gets bob.com, or it gets bob.johnson.com. You know, bob@gmail.com, and it gets bob.johnson@gmail.com. We're going to represent any random string. And the plus means one or more. Okay. So the dot means any character. And if you just put one, you're just saying, I'm just like one of anything, 1A, 1B, one, whatever. And so what we're essentially doing here is the plus sign is saying one or more. So that's going to cover all of that. The at is a literal like at. So Bob at, okay. And then we want the domain name. So, and we'll say something.com. So once again, it could be anything. It could be 123. It could be ABC. It could be AAA. It could be anything. So we're going to say dot again, and we're going to say plus. So one or more something, and then .com. And what we want to do is we have to, so remember the dot is a wildcard. It's a special character that means something else, not a literal dot. So when we put a literal dot, we have to actually put a backspace in front of it, and that's to escape it, .com. So backspace dot is equal to a literal dot. Let's see if that is actually correct. And look what we get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's going to be our answer. These are all your .coms that we just filtered out of the file. Pretty neat, huh? So how many unique domains are there, period? Okay. So we want all the unique domains at this point. So we need to go back. So we need to like take this off. We're not just looking for .coms. We're going to be looking for a dot anything. So we backslash dot means a literal dot. And we're going to put another dot plus, which means one or more of anything. So remember, a dot is a wildcard in regex. And when I do that, I get this bigger list. And so according to this, it wants to know how many unique, once again, what is the question? How many unique domains are there? Unique domains. So we're supposedly going to have 8. So we got Gmail, that's 1, AMG, that's 2, Yahoo, that's 3, this Hilo, that's 4. We already said Gmail. Feedful, that's 5. This one, 8 something, that's 6. TryHackMe is 7. We already covered Yahoo, Gmail. Gmail with a 1, that's 8. Let's see, is it? Yeah. Canary.com, that's 9. Did we say Hotmail already? Hotmail looks like 10. We've got TryHackMe already. And this P1, whatever, that's level 11. And Alpha says 12. So let's see. Did we get that one correct? How many emails? How many unique domains are there? Interesting. So there are only 8 unique domains. So it said filtering for emails. All right, let's see. What did we miss there? And I guess, you know, some of the, oh, you know what? We need to be more specific because I'm looking at some of these. Once again, I think it's talking about top level domains. So let's change the query a little bit to look for what are legitimate, because some of those are not necessarily legitimate domains. So first of all, let's go ahead and put a $sign on the end of it to close out the string. And let's see what we get. Okay, so we still get the same amount there. So nothing different. And then I think we're going to say the typical good domains end in .com. So we'll say 3. I think we just use a 3. All right, and then let's clear this again. Let's look at that. All right, so let's run that last command. So basically we're saying any character, and we only want a maximum of 3. So now let's go back and recount. Gmail 1, AMG 2, Yahoo 3, Feedful 4, TryHackMe 5, got Yahoo again, Canary 6, Hotmail 7, TryHackMe again, and this one, that's 8 and 9. Interesting. So it looks like I'm still off 1. Let's double count. Gmail, AMG, Yahoo. Okay, that's 3. Feedful is 4. TryHackMe is 5. Canary is 6. Hotmail is 7. This one's not. So that's the thing. This is not. Okay, that's where the issue is. So you see, this is not a legitimate domain name. Okay, because it would be 8. So here's what we need to do. We need to go back and we need to filter that out because we can't have dots being our domain names because that doesn't work. Okay, so looking at this, we'll go back and now this is where we go A through Z, lowercase. A through Z, Alexa cancel, A through Z, and then 0 through 9. All right, and let's try this, and we want 3 of them. I don't know what that alert was for. Okay, all right, cool. And so now we ran that, and look, we have legitimate input this time. So let's count it finally again, because we needed to tell it, you can't have, when we use the dot, that includes .com. You know, it's Apple at 1.3.com. That's not a valid domain name, so you can't have a dot in there. So I just needed to restrict it to capital and lowercase letters and numbers. And that being the case, Gmail 1, AMG 2, Yahoo 3, Feedful 4, TryHackMe 5, Canary 6, Hotmail 7, and then Alpha is 8. And we get our number 8, so that actually checks out. It says, after filtering the emails, what is the domain with the email address with a local part, Lewisham44? And if you look at these addresses, Lewisham44 at amg.com. So that's that answer. Filter for emails. What is the domain name? And see, honestly, we can go back and we can write this regex. So let's do that. Okay, let's not be lazy. So we want, this time it wants us to give the email address, and we're going to look for, we'll just take one of these. Okay, so feedful.com. It's easy to get the amg.com. So let's do that one. I read that one. We'll do it in order. So all you got to do is you go back to your original request. So if you want something at amg.com, you just say AMG. And then don't forget to close out your sentence with a $sign. Oh, we messed up. All right, so .amg, or actually, I'm sorry, it's going to be something at amg.com. So and okay, let's go back and clear this up a little bit, because we want the .com here. So this is how we do it. And let's clear our screen. We're getting a little bit in the mud. And I told you I was going to teach you this. So I hope that you're still hanging in here for the class. All right, so we want to get filter for emails, email with the local part, which is the first part that has Lewisham44. Let's write that script, because I just looked through the data set and I was like, cool. So we're going to begin with the beginning of the line, which is the caret key. All right, you follow along, and then you want to type Lewis, and it's LEWISHAM44, and we want to say at, and then at this point we want to escape, and we want to say something, right? Something.com, so we can say dot plus to represent anything. And realistically, we probably should say, you know, it can't be another dot there, right? So we'll say at, and we really need to say A through Z, capital A through Z, 0 through 9, to make it a valid domain name. Okay, and we're going to say plus to mean one of any. So now we have Lewisham 44 at something, and then one or more characters, whatever. It could be Apple, it could be Apple 5, it could be 5 Apple, any of that. And the plus means one or more of anything between in the brackets. And then we want to say a backslash dot to represent the literal. And then we want to say once again, same thing. We can save a few keystrokes here. We want to make sure it's not .com, because that's not legal in domains. And so we'll go here and Control Shift V. And once again, say we can do plus. See if we get it. And there's our answer, Lewisham 44. And really what you want to do is to be more specific, since .com is only three letters or domains. We'll say 3, and that gives us the answer. So then it asks us, okay, what about the other one? Filtering for emails. What domain of email? Say, what is the domain of the email with the local part of max, M-A-X-X-I-M-A-X? So I should just be able to go here, modify the same string. And by the way, one of the things I made a mistake is I did not close out the string. Go ahead and do that. Put that in to make sure you indicate the end of the string, because if not, I can leave myself open to, like, sometimes I get inconsistent results. So make it a habit to close out those strings. Now, with this being the case, we got a good option here. We can change the first name. So M-A-X, so M-A-X-X-I-M-A-X. All this should work again, and it spits it out, because once again, we wrote the regex, and this is the beauty of regex, is because once we've written it, like, we've got something that we can use over and over again to get all kinds of useful information. So there's the answer, and all it wants is what is the local part of the email with the domain max. And so feed full is the local part of the .com. Okay. I'm sorry. It says what is the domain for the local part. So they gave us max, and we pulled off the domain, which is the fullfeed.com. So filtering for emails. What is the local part of the email with the domain of hotmail.com? Interesting. So now it wants us to look at the domain name to do the search and pull the first part. We can do that. So what we'll do is we'll say, once again, we can remove this. We've already got this copied. Control Shift V. So we're going to say anything. Well, actually, we can't do that in this situation. We want to do a caret, because it can be something.com here. And realistically, it could be more like, because I don't know if you can start with a dot, right? But you can say have a first name dot last name dot something else .com. And so that could go on infinitely. So really you could say starts with A through, we could do that. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll say starts with A through whatever, because it has to have an alphanumeric something. But then from that point forward, it can have dots and all kind of other crazy characters, which they're limited. But we can just say, do the plus for one or more. And then we can also say at the end of this, dot to be anything, including first name dot last name. And we'll say plus right there also. And if we do this right, all right, so we got a big list here. But it didn't ask for the entire list. It asked for a specific one because they gave us hotmail.com. So we need to go after the last dot, which is right here, the slash dot. And remember we said we left room for it to be slash dot .com, .net, whatever, and we only left 3. Okay, so what we need to do is there's our ending, our extension, and it's right here, right behind the at, okay? And we want to be specific that we only want Hotmail. And then we have no plus needed right there. So it's the literal word Hotmail. And we want to backslash dot to indicate a literal dot. And then the whatever comnet, XYZ, whatever the domain is, A through Z, lowercase, A through Z, uppercase, 0 through 9. and we're allowing it to be 3. That way it can be .com, .123, .com, .123, .xyz, .1x2, all of those above. We're allowing room for that. So let's go ahead and press enter and see if we get our output. And there we get Hussein vote, not Usain Bolt, Hussein vote. Okay. All right. And that's going to be our answer. So now we're starting to get into, let's clear the screen. Got a lot going on. We're going to bring that egrep command up. It's getting pretty big at this point. And so now we want to filter for URLs. How many URLs fit the syntax? We're looking for URLs. Let's see. What does it want? It wants, starting with HTTP or HTTPS. Some URLs have www, and then a top level domain should exist. So we can write that. So first thing, we'll take it. We're going to go ahead and let's take this command all the way back to the basics. Okay. Start with the caret because we want to indicate the beginning of the string. HTTP. Remember, it can be a S. So we're going to use something different, a S question mark. And that means that the S is optional. Okay. Now, if you wanted to do www, we could put the www in a parentheses, and we can do this like this too, but we only have one. We don't have to put it. But you can say, if this were something else, multiple characters, you put them all in parentheses and then put the question mark right behind them. And it represents the fact that that is optional. So that represents HTTP or HTTPS. Did we get anything? Oh, look at there. Just in doing that one part, we got everything that had HTTP or HTTPS. But, we can be a little bit more creative than that. So let's do that. Let's say we've got HTTP, HTTPS. What comes next? :// Does that work? Okay, cool. That works. Look at that. We're kind of building it. And now we can have www, or we can just have the domain. So we want to use this coming up. Okay, so don't want to put that at the end, but I want to leave this on the screen so you can see how we're going to build this. So we'll put this in open parentheses, www, close parentheses, question mark. So that way, if it does have www, it'll get it. But if it doesn't, it still will get it. Let's see. And look at there. So it's now showing you that if it had www, it's there, it's highlighted. But if it doesn't, it's also still highlighted because it reads both. Man, we're doing some really good work here. Let's clear the screen a little bit. Okay. Got a lot going on. So we got HTTP, www. That's all good. And also interesting, but it's www dot. So we need a / I believe. Let's make sure that looks good. Okay, cool. So now we get the www dot. That's optional. Okay, so that's good. We're getting somewhere. And then after that, it can be something.com. Could it be www.something.something.com? Yeah, it could really be that. So in order to get these that can potentially have multiple domains or subdomains, so like surface.microsoft.com, that's multiple dots. And so instead of trying to regex out all of those, we can just go back in here and we'll see after www dot, we can say any character. So that'll cover a.b.com, and we'll say plus one or more. Okay, so that gets all of that. And then we'll say the actual dot, which is / dot. And we can say .coms, and we know we have to be a little bit more specific on those. So we'll say / dot, and then see if we got that. So A through Z, lowercase and uppercase, 0. And we'll say it's going to be typically 3. Let's see if we got this right. Interesting. So, but I said 3, but some of them have 4 because we got .info. So I really shouldn't be that specific. So let's go ahead and let's drop that because they have a whole bunch of new ones. So we'll just say plus. All right, and look at there. So we got all of those .coms, whatever, and we got that whitelisted out. So the question is, what was the question that we were trying to answer? We just got really drunk, aka me, with our top level domain stuff. So how many URLs fit the syntax above? Now I've got, let's see, what did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think Oh, so that's no. So I filtered down way too specific. Because you can see what I've done is I've actually, um, yeah, I got way too specific in there and restricted down to the .com or whatever. So I should have 16 URLs. How many URLs fit the syntax above? And I think that's what I got initially. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So why do I have one extra? Let's check this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so how many domains fit the syntax? Let's see, what is the syntax? And I think the only thing what gets us is the .info, right, on the original request. So this is getting a little messy. So what it wants is URLs in the HTTPS and some have www, and a top level domain should exist. So what all did I add that kind of like restricted that a little bit? So that looks pretty good to me at this point, 0 through 9, unless the domain is something that doesn't fit in 0 through 9. So I'm going to back the string up just a little bit. All right, and let's go here again, and let's see what we got. So this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 17. So what criteria are we missing? So that's what we got to solve for right now. So filter for the URLs that start with HTTP or HTTPS. That's fifth. We've got that. Of some that have www, and a TLD should exist. A top level domain should exist. So does anything in this list not have a top level domain? It's .net, .com. Oh, look at this. See how that doesn't have a dot something on it? That's where the issue is. That's the extra one. So how do we resolve that issue? So let's go back to our script. All right. And I think the issue we ran into is this was good. So we had A through Z, and we were too specific right here. This is what bit us, because we can have like a /, a whole bunch of things after that last dot. So it can be .com / dictionary. And remember, I got and this is what got me. No, it wasn't that. I can tell you exactly what I put. The termination of the string right there. Okay, nope, still didn't get it because we got that /. So as long as I had A through Z, that's always going to restrict it because there's more. So let's clear this. Let's bring this up to the top of the screen. And instead of 0 through 9, I'm going to use the .wildcard, .plus for anything. All right, so at this point, I've got the HTTP, I got the wwws that are optional. Oh, and you know what I don't see? I know exactly what I don't see. I made a mistake. My www does not have the optional character. Now, there we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we now have solved for that one. So now it wants to know which ones start with HTTPS. To do that, that's pretty simple. We just take our equation and we want to take off the optional question mark and take off the parentheses, and there. That should provide us with 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very nice. And that within, let's see, it's 30 minutes, but that's a whole Regex course at that point. You can do just about anything that you need to do in IT with this information. This is completely the foundations of Regex. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the video for more future, like, might as well say full-time classes at this point. Anyway, thanks for watching.